Hi y'all, I'm Melissa and welcome to My Word Melly. So today's video has been sponsored by Berry Tree Books as well, and if y'all still haven't watched my previous video on Berry Tree Books and how to order from them, do click on the link shown up here so that y'all can go ahead and watch it. So guys, I'm so thankful for Berry Tree Books sending me this book to read and review it. So without further ado, let's start today's video so that I can tell y'all what I thought about this book. All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover was released back in 2018, I guess, if I'm not mistaken, and I have seen so many people on TikTok, on even YouTube and Instagram talking about this book so much, so I had to read this. So this is my first book by Colleen Hoover, like I said, and guys, the outcome of this book was totally nothing compared to what I expected. All my friends on Bookstagram, on Book Talk, everyone started commenting on my videos saying, "Bestie, you're going to need a box of tissues. Oh my god, you're going to get your heart ripped out of your chest and you're going to be bawling out crying." But that didn't happen. I really wanted it to happen. Yeah, so I know now I'm just stirring up trouble and people are going to come at me like they have already done when I posted the reading update of this saying that I finished but I didn't cry. Like I got so many DMs saying like, how could you not cry, how could you not sympathize with Quinn, but like I did, like I understood what she was going through. I did feel sad for her, but it never made me cry. So like I can't just rip my tear ducts out and make them cry, right? So anywho, talking about this book honestly has been written beautifully. I thought Colleen Hoover's writing style or the style of writing was just beautiful. So this book is definitely like an 18 plus book. So if you are a younger reader, I don't recommend that you all read this. And even if you all are in the correct age to read this, if you all are triggered by scenes or instances in books, I definitely recommend that you all read the trigger warnings for this book before you start reading. So each chapter of this book alternated between then and now. So then was like so the past where Quinn was around 24 years old and how she met Graham and how that relationship started, and also now like 7 years later where they are married and they are having struggles in their marriage. So I was very intrigued how the book started. So if you all haven't read this, it's going to be spoilers now, so I'm just trying to give you all the gist of the story. So Quinn had gone somewhere, I can't remember where, and she was returning a day earlier than she had planned so that she was going to surprise her fiance. And when she went to her fiance's apartment, she saw this man who she has never seen before pacing in front of her fiance's apartment door. It was Graham who was there at the door, and he said, "Your boyfriend is cheating in there with my girlfriend." And at that moment, she was just knocked off her feet and like she didn't know what to believe, like is it so? And then they all started hearing all these obscene noises from inside the apartment, and she just sunk onto the floor and she didn't know what was happening in her life because she was supposed to get married to this guy in a few weeks, and they were like planning their wedding, and they even had their cake tasting that the following day. So she was just shocked beyond roots. Even Graham was devastated because he was carrying a ring to propose to his girlfriend in his pocket, and when he had seen them and followed them to this apartment building. So they both like sat near that door throughout everything. They were sympathizing each other because this is not a situation where they wanted to be in the first place, and like two strangers who are affected by this same situation, like they didn't want to like crash into the room and whatever, but they wanted to confront them, so they were waiting there. And then these people who are inside the room have ordered Chinese takeout, and then as a revenge, Graham and Quinn, who are sitting outside, are like, no, they don't deserve this food, we are the ones stuck out here, so we should eat this. And with this Chinese takeout, they get two fortune cookies. So the fortune Graham got was, you will succeed in a great business endeavor today. And Quinn got, if you only shine lights on your flaws, all your perfects will dim. So that was the first instance as well where the title of the book was mentioned in the story. I'm someone who tries to make sense of where the title is mentioned in the book, or what does the title mean throughout the book. So Graham was like, I didn't even go to work today, so how can I do something successful in my business endeavors? And then Quinn was like, her fortune has a grammatical error because all your perfects. And all of a sudden, Quinn's fiance and Graham's girlfriend just open the door and come out to see where their food is, and find them on the ground sitting near their door waiting for them. And I actually thought Quinn will lash out or Graham will just punch that dude in the face, but Graham just held Quinn's hand and dragged her back to the elevator and did not let go until they went exited the apartment complex, and once they were out on the road, they just took their own directions. Quinn went her way, Graham went his way. But then it started raining, and Quinn was like, I don't even know where Graham lives, it's raining, like, should I give him a lift? So she just walks back to see where he went, and then she finds him in a restaurant nearby, and then they start hitting it off. One thing leads to another, and they end up at Quinn's apartment, and nothing what y'all think happened. He just helps Quinn get into bed, tucks her in, and just tells her, you're going to cry today. This is when it's going to sink in most at night when you are alone. He just leaves. And the next day when Quinn wakes up, she sees this post-it note near her door saying, once you have gone through all your rebound sessions, give me a ring. I would like to get to know you. So that's how this book starts. Like, I gave you like the entire gist of the first chapter. While alternating from then and now, we see that Quinn is struggling with depression because of her infertility, and that is causing a rip in her relationship with Graham. And then when we go into the past chapters, you see how much they love each other, how much they fall in love with each other, and things like that, how they get married, and how much Graham loves her and how much she loved him. And like, you can't believe like those two people are going through some struggles like this 7 years later, because they were like inseparable, the couple to born to be. I used to love Quinn a lot in the past, where she wasn't drowning in depression, but like I do get it. Like, I know I can't relate to it because I'm not married, I don't know what it is like and all those stuff, but I couldn't sympathize with her. The reason I said I couldn't sympathize with her is like, I'm not someone who likes the miscommunication trope, and I thought this book was like the far worst end of the miscommunication trope. So she didn't want to cry in front of Graham. She used to cry in the shower on her own, and like she just didn't want to talk to Graham. Even when Graham was showing her love, she just pushed him away, and like she didn't want to spend time with him. So, and she thought that Graham doesn't notice how much he's trying to push her away. So the reason she was trying to push him away was like every time they were close or intimate, what she only thought was like, she can't have a child, or will this try give her a child? And like for her, it was a routine of trying to see if she will bear a child. And every time that didn't work out, and that she realized this month also she has no child, next month also she has no child, that just pulled her more down into depression, and she started neglecting Graham, pushing Graham away. And like she thinks he doesn't notice her when she's dissing him or like just ignoring him, but you find out that he does, and the way you find that out is even more painful. Like you can't help but love Graham. Like I just love him. He's like one of the book boyfriends to have as well. So it went to a point where Graham also just couldn't take it anymore. There is a limit. You can be pushed around and like ignored, right? Especially by your own spouse or by someone who is significant in your life. And there is this one moment where he falls off the wagon, or he slips, we can say, and he just ends up kissing one of his subordinates at the office. And he is definitely, guys, not a person like that. And he is this person who, he's this character who wants to keep everything honest and open, so that once this happened and he came home, he confessed it to Quinn, but she didn't see it like that. She just saw it like, you know, my ex did the same to me, but you are doing the same to me now as well, and I'm going through something like this, and is this how you react? So they come into a point where in the book they have considered it as a category 5 catastrophe, like a hurricane warning. So they have different categories based on the severity of a hurricane. So they call this rip in their marriage or in their life like a hurricane 5, the most worst case scenario of an issue and calamity which is driving them to a point where it's getting divorced. This book really captures the love and the togetherness of how they fall in love, as well as that marriage life or marriages are not like sunshine and daisies or rainbows in the clouds like movies make it to be, or like other stories make it to be. This shows actual trouble, actual struggles and the difficulties that a married person, like how married couples go. So it's captured beautifully, and seeing this then and now, I think it's like it gives you the complete picture. It gives you that you can start as the most popular couple or like with sunshine and daisies, but it's not always going to be like that once you're married. That confrontation or that argument led into Quinn getting sick. All of a sudden she gets this severe pain in the middle of the night, and when they check to see, she's having a miscarriage, and she didn't even know that she had been pregnant. Like after trying so much for 7 years and knowing, going through all that, and then finding out through a miscarriage that at least for a few weeks she was a mother or she was with child, drove her even to a point where her depression couldn't take. So once Graham takes her to the hospital, they tried their best to save her life and to see if they can save the child, but by then it was too late. She had already had the miscarriage, and it was so severe that they had to do this hysterectomy, so that, and then when she woke up and realized that means she will never be a mother, then not only her doubt and her self-guilt or like her depression, she started thinking now because of her, Graham will never be a father, and that really puts her depression into a whole nother level. She just picks up and leaves to Italy to her sister to get some distance from Graham, and she just doesn't talk to him for weeks. After giving her some space, like months of space, I think, Graham shows up in Italy at her sister's place. So he shows up there with a box. So this box, if y'all don't want spoilers, I'm like seriously telling you, you shouldn't be listening so far either. So this box is something significant you see then and now across the book, and like until this point in the book I wasn't sure what was in the box, like what was so significant about the box. Like I had my theories and I was guessing, and like the significance of this box is the day they got married, each of them, Graham and Quinn, wrote a letter to each other and put it in a box and locked it And Graham said on the 25th anniversary, they are going to open it and read the letter so that they know what each of them were thinking on the day they got married. I just love him. He's so amazing. Another reason they would ever open the box is if their marriage was going to be shredded or if they were going to end it, to see if that letter or if this box, whatever contains in this box, will help them mend their relationship to hold on to each other at least a little while more. That part was really sad. Like, honestly, it was really sad. And he just gives Quinn this ultimatum, if you really want this to end, then open the box, read the letters, and if you still want to divorce me, if you still want to leave me, I will not object. Oh my god, that pain that guy was going through, no matter how much I know why Quinn was in that position, even though that's something sad, I can't relate to it, but the way she was behaving, I just couldn't take her side. Like, I really couldn't. I really took Graham's side, even though he cheated on her. I felt so sorry, like, and I was like, this was expected, right? Like, you can't blame Graham. It was because the way Quinn was behaving, it just drove him to find solace in some other place. You may be having a different opinion, but that's where I stand. Quinn decides that to call quits and open the box, which broke Graham's heart so much because he thought she will still fight for them even without opening the box. And when she opened the box, what she realized was Graham had been writing letters to her every year of their marriage. Every time something went wrong in their marriage or when he was extremely happy, he has been writing so many letters and storing it in the box. And she handed Graham the letter she wrote for him on their wedding day, and she took the box of letters from Graham and she started reading it. And guys, the letters were oh my god, my heart. So that's one point where my heart was actually tight, but I still didn't cry. For heaven's sake, I have no idea. Graham had explained everything in all those letters to her so that she knows his side of the story where she didn't let him express it. And she realized how wrong she was to dwell on her faults, how her the fortune cookie or the fortune at the beginning of their relationship actually meant something. Like, if she stopped focusing on her faults or her shortcomings of where she can't have a baby, but dwell on things that made her happy, she would have had something perfect or tangible. But it took her a long while with all these struggles to come to that, and the letters made her realize that, and that entire moment was beautiful. And I don't think, no matter how much I explain or how long I take to explain it, it could be explained as beautifully as in the book. So that is something you have to experience while reading the book. And guys, I was like, oh my god, I fell in love with Graham again when I realized he didn't read the letter Quinn wrote to him, because he had all faith in their relationship and he didn't want any reassurances, and he left it to read on their 25th anniversary, and he knew that Quinn wanted some reassurance and she should read the letter. So he never opened the letter Quinn wrote to him, and I was like, oh my god, this guy is amazing. I don't want to tell more than that. Anywho, that was the story. I hope y'all will read this if y'all haven't, and y'all like this story as well, because it was a beautiful story about love and tragedy, and about how love and like trusting each other in a relationship would help you even overcome the worst of tragedies that could come your way as well. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars because I just didn't feel a 5-star in it, but I highly recommend that you read this book as well. I'm so thankful for Berry Tree Books for getting me my very first Colleen Hoover book, and to collaborate with them for this review as well. So if you all do want to purchase this book, do check out Berry Tree Books on Instagram or Facebook, which I'll leave in the description box down below. So guys, with that, it's time for me to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed my review on this. I know it was more of a discussion about what this story was and what I liked and didn't like, and it was not a plot that I have read before or anything close to it. So I really enjoyed the plot. It was so different, which I really enjoyed. So I hope you give it a shot as well if you still haven't read. So until I see you in my next video, bye and stay safe from Oh My Word Melly.